Omar Kelly for the Miami Herald recently writes an article. It's an opinion article. Did the Dolphins upgrade or downgrade the 2025 roster? Now, Vlad will automatically say downgrade.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
We're going to break it down, though.
No, we'll break it down.
So let's
Till
break
bone
it down.
bristle.
We're going to break it down, and we're going to see how you feel at the end of this segment, if you're optimistic or pessimistic on this season.
I'm realistic.
Oh, that's an even better way to be. Quarterback. Okay, so Omar Kelly puts up Tyler Snoop Huntley and Skylar Thompson last year, as opposed to this year, Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers. Who do you think he gives the upper hand to?
I'm actually going to say he's going to give it to Zach, and I actually could see why he would give it to Zach. Zach has at least 3 years of NFL starts, so he's actually had more snaps than like maybe the Snoop Huntleys and the Skylar Thompsons of the world.
You're absolutely right. He gives the upper hand to Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers. Tyler Snoop Huntley, of course, we know we got him off the practice squad, and Skylar Thompson is a big-time back. When I say big-time backup, like mean he's entrenched in a backup spot. So, yeah, let's see where we're all kind of on the same page with that. When it comes to tailback, last year, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., this year, Alexander Madison, Ollie Gordon II. I guess he's talking about backup tailbacks, because I would think that our running backs would be...
Wouldn't it be Devon Achane and Braden Allen?
And
Jalen Wright?
Yeah.
Is it Jalen Wright? Yeah.
It says tailback. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr.
That was last year.
Better than Alexander Madison and Gordon II. Ollie Gordon II. Oh, Ollie Gordon II is the rookie.
Wow, yeah. He's not even putting the...
He says last year Raheem and Jeff Wilson were better. Dolphins intentionally moved on from Mostert, who was released and signed with Vegas, and Wilson still unemployed. He'll be back, because the goal was to get younger in the backfield, which now belongs to Devon Achane, who gained 907 yards, scoring 6 touchdowns, 203 carries, and Jalen Wright, a second-year player who averaged 3.7 yards per carry last year. Madison, who is entering his 7th season, and Gordon, a Doak Walker Award winner, Miami drafted in the 5th round, should add some much-needed power to Miami's finesse rushing attack. But the unit is relatively green. However, durability and dead legs shouldn't be too much of a factor in 2025. Going on to the receivers, Braxton Berrios, River Craycraft, Grant DeBose. This year we have Nick Westbrook-Ikhine and Taj Washington. He's giving it to our guys, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine and Taj Washington. Am I saying that right? Because he's an Indiana guy. We got Zach here. How do you say Nick Westbrook?
Yeah, it's Nick Westbrook-Ikhine.
Ikhine.
It's Ikhine.
I was practicing during the break.
He had 9 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, he had a good year last year for the
Tennessee
Titans. I remember we were talking about in the break. So he's given the upper hand when it comes to Braxton Berrios, River Craycraft, Grant DeBose to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine and Taj Washington.
Wait. Against who from last year?
Braxton Berrios, River Craycraft, Grant DeBose. That's an upgrade.
You know what? I love you, Omar. You're my guy. Don't be slick. Why don't you put Odell's dumb name in there?
He does. He goes, Miami rolled snake eyes with last year's signing of Odell Beckham Jr., whose knee issues made the former Pro Bowler a little more than a name and led to his late season release. Berrios, Craycraft, DeBose were sparse contributors last season because of injuries, and the fact that Malik Washington emerged as Miami's slot receiver and primary returner. The hope this season is that Westbrook-Ikhine, a free agent who has scored 19 touchdowns in his 5 previous seasons, will become a primary target in the end zone, and Taj Washington, a 2024 7th-round pick who missed, a lot of last season with the knee injuries, challenges for a roster spot. So he's given a little bit, of the upper hand to those guys, the Westbrook-Ikhine and Taj Washington. I can see that. I didn't think we got very much out of Braxton Berrios, River Craycraft, or Grant DeBose anyway. So, okay. Tight end. This is where it gets exciting, Vlad. Jonnu Smith and Jack Stoll. Okay. Against this year, Darren Waller and Pharaoh Brown.
All right. So
you got to know automatically.
Well, this is why I think it's weird. Because I've been listening to Omar. And Omar is trying, he was trying to, the way he was talking on yesterday's show, the Joe Rose show, with Joe Rose in Hollywood every Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And our boy, the great Dan Day, he fills in as well. He was trying to sell CP and their audience that Darren Waller might be some, hey, man, Darren Waller's not that bad. Like, get out of here, bro.
I did that last weekend, too.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what's going on? And
it's a return to form.
I know Omar. So I know when Omar might have might be cool with somebody or like, what I'm saying? Like they have a good rapport. I think him and Darren Waller have a good rapport because when you kind of like you kind of going a little gun ho for him. That's your guy. That's your boy. You're trying to paint a better picture of him than the picture that's out there of him. Darren Waller right now at his age on July 12th, 2025, it's not better than Jonnu Smith. No.
And Pharaoh Brown, friend of the show. But no, I can't say right now Darren Waller and Pharaoh Brown are an upgrade from Jonnu Smith, period, much less Jack Stoll. So, yeah, and then they are going to throw in the name Tanner Conner. Until Tanner Conner actually really does something in a meaningful game, a.k.a. a regular season game, and not the fourth game of preseason, I can't count on him. I'm sorry. He had a great fourth preseason game, or third. I'm sorry, they don't have four anymore. Like, it's just like, offensive line exciting. Here we go. Teron Armstead, Robert Jones, Isaiah Wynn, Kendall Lamb last year. This year, James Daniels, Jonah Savianaya, Larry Borum, Keon Smith, and Braden Daniels. Who do you think Omar gives the upper hand to?
This year's
Yes, sir. You got it. James Daniels, Jonah Savianaya, Larry Borum, Keon Smith, Braden Daniels. You had a banged up. Those guys were banged up last year too, but we don't know what we're getting out of the rookie from Savianaya that coming out of Arizona. So it's kind of one of those things. I don't know, why doesn't he keep putting there Teron Armstead's Patrick Paul, the guy taking over for him. Losing Armstead, man, leadership wise and talent wise, just very interesting. Defense: Calais Campbell, Deshaun Hand, Emmanuel Ogba. This year, Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, Zeke Biggers. That's our new favorite now. Last year was Storm Duck. This year it's Zeke Biggers, Ben Steele, and Matthew Butler. Of course, he's going to give it to the Calais, rightfully so. Calais Campbell, Emmanuel Ogba was good last year. Linebackers: Anthony Walker Jr., Tyus Bowser, Duke Riley last year. This year you got Willie Gay Jr. coming in from New Orleans by way of Kansas City previously.
Good vet, but we'll see.
KJ Britt, Grayson Murphy, he's saying last year a little bit better. We find out Duke Riley might not be on the team right now, so I always try to keep an eye out for my fellow LSU Tigers. Man, it really hurt us the other year when Andrew Van Ginkel got away from us, man. What we could have done with Andrew Van Ginkel last year and this year and really every year. What a baller. What a great player. Can't even talk about cornerback, which you think was better last year, Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller, as opposed to Artie Burns, Kendall Sheffield, and Jason Marshall Jr. Better?
This year.
Better than Jalen Ramsey?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Last year's better than
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Pardon self.
He does, though. Think that Minkah Fitzpatrick is an upgrade from Javon Holland.
Oh, damn. Carly Lloyd. Okay. On the bottom. There's no way anybody with any sense, after we just talked about Asante Samuel Sr., talk about the Dolphins secondary situation, is going to say that this year's secondary is better than last year's secondary. No, we're not doing that. Cornerback, at least. I don't know if you would take Minkah over Javon.
I would. And, I know Javon. I don't know Minkah, but from a strict talent standpoint, and I'm not saying Javon isn't super talented, I just think Minkah Fitzpatrick is one of the premier safeties in the league. Although a lot of his numbers have been down over the past couple of years, but we needed someone like that, especially with Javon now gone. We needed somebody like that. So I think it's an upgrade. So all in all,
do you believe that this year's O-line is better than last year's? I don't believe that. You can't lose a all-pro and a guy that,
let's see. Maybe Omar will convince you otherwise.
No, he ain't convincing me nothing. I
want to convince myself too.
No, it's easy to you always want to believe in optimism. So it's
guys, losing Armstead, who served as a pillar of granite at beautiful writing, by the way.
Oh, come on.
I really do.
That guy can write.
I never thought about a pillar of granite at left tackle when healthy the past 3 seasons to retire will hurt. But Armstead could only play so long on one healthy knee. Dolphins drafted and invested in Patrick Paul, a 2024 second-round pick. all last season preparing the franchise for this change at left tackle. Miami ideally upgraded at both guard spots if James Daniels returns to the player he has been the previous 7 seasons, coming off that Achilles injury, which has me a little bit scared. And Savianaya, a 2025 second-round pick Miami traded up to acquire, performs like one of this draft class's elite offensive linemen. The biggest issue surrounding Miami's offensive line is the lack of depth. Losing Lamb to the Eagles, Jones to the Cowboys, and Wynn, who remains unsigned, waters down the unit. The hope is that Borum, 27 NFL starts, Smith spent last season rehabbing a knee injury he suffered in the preseason, Braden Daniels, 2 seasons of NFL practice squads, and your favorite, Vlad, Liam Eichenberg, 52 starts, can become adequate reserves, but Miami will benefit from supplementing this unit more considering its struggles weighing down last season's team. So you're asking everybody just perform better.
Isn't that what we always ask everybody?
That's what every year you should be asking people to do. Now, I did that with Isaiah Wynn currently just on the market. You never know, might be able to bring him back. That would help with some depth. Have he and Liam Eichenberg coming off the bench. So it sounds like the upfront guys are good, as we just don't have any depth on the offensive line.
Which has always been the problem with this team since Mike McDaniel came to South Florida when he became head coach, because we were always saying that they don't have depth. That's why when starters got hurt, there was always a skepticism about, can this team continue?
Right.
Can this team move forward, because there is a drop off from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
And
we are going to get injured. There's going to be injuries.
It happened with backup quarterback. It happened with receivers.
Yeah.
You saw when Tyreek was hurt that you would have thought Odell Beckham could have come in and, nope, that didn't work out. It's happened defense as well. When the linebackers get hurt, they attack the second linebacker. Who was it? Was it Baker? 2 years ago? Baker? Right, when he got hurt. Yeah, and then you could see the drop off when he got hurt. Dolphins do draft okay. Their starters are good. They have good starters. It's just, can they develop the backups?
Like Bill Belichick said, Super Bowls are won on the bottom third of the roster. Your starters are always should be theoretically very good.
But when they get hurt, can you have is there a guy that can hold the fort down for 3 to 4 weeks, or maybe 6 weeks, just for however long it will take till your guy gets back on his feet?
It's the question we'll be asking and we'll be seeing as soon as this season starts at the beginning of September. Get ready.
But what about you? Do you think this team is better on paper than last year?
On paper, I'd say about the same. So now it just comes down to health and execution. It's about the same. I mean,
on paper, really, last year's roster is better than this year's roster.
On paper.
Yeah, because you had Teron, you had Jonnu, you had all those guys.
Right.
So on paper, because of what was expected after that 11-6 2023 season.
Let me see. Minkah Fitzpatrick upgrade, I'm just going to say, from Javon Holland.
Okay, it's a
cornerback.
It's not so much of an upgrade.
Cornerback, it's not even close. We're not.
You were better last year than you.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
O-line, you were better last year, because I don't care what you said. Even if it was one leg, Teron Armstead is better than 90% of the offensive linemen in the Miami Dolphins. No, you know what? BS. Other than maybe Austin Jackson, Teron Armstead with one leg is better than all the offensive linemen the Miami Dolphins had.
Defensive line probably a little bit better last year. Offensive line, I'm going to say it's even.
And that's understand what you said about the defensive line. They're better than last year, and people would have thought going into last year that the defensive line took a step down because they lost Christian Wilkins.
Yeah.
So the fact that Calais came in, held it down. There was no drop off. As a matter of fact, him and Zach Sealer was like one of the best 1-2
punches. Yeah.
So then, and then now, okay, maybe you bring Bradley Chubb in, but is he going to be fully healthy? You bring Jalen Phillips back. Jalen Phillips is in the same situation he was last season.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not really improving that aspect.
Tight end, you've gotten worse theoretically.
Theoretically, you let a guy go for a guy who hasn't taken a snap in 2 years.
And then I'll say running back, I'll say running back, receivers, and quarterback, you're basically the same. And quarterback doesn't matter because if Tua gets hurt, we know it doesn't. The season's going to be in a lot of trouble.
And that's the number. And isn't that funny? We're saying all this stuff, and people saying, "Oh, this doom and gloom," so many question marks. But the number one question is, can you keep number one healthy? You keep number one healthy, everything we're saying has a chance to be disputed.
It's marginalized,
right?
Somewhat.
Because if number one is up and they're giving him the time and he's able to get the ball to the weapons, that's great offensively. Now, still doesn't let me feel Dolphins could be a team that could lose 38-35 shootouts, or they could lose game 17-13.
10-9.
Oh, it could happen.
You remember that first? I was just reliving last year and looking at the scores. Remember that first New England Patriots game? It felt like there was like it was just a terrible game, but it just felt like it was played in like a gray cloud.
Which game was that?
That was the one where the guy's heel came down out of bounds and the Patriots would have won, and we ran the ball with Alec Ingold the whole second half.
Oh yeah, but you needed that win.
I know, no, but I'm just saying. Remember how like just archaic it seemed like it was a game from the 1930s.
Well, but I gave him credit for that because he actually used his head.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to force his things that you can't do with the weapons you have, he adjusted, and it was the first time he showed that he actually can. He's actually willing to adjust.
We're gonna have to do some adjusting this year. It looks like it's gonna be one of those interesting